Hello everyone and welcome to lesson 11.8. You'll notice that we haven't done 11.7 and that's because it's to do with graphing, okay? And as this is learning that you're doing at home, I assume that a lot of you wouldn't have graphing paper, etc. So that'll be something we'll cover eventually when we're back in school. So we've moved on to 11.8 and we're looking at problem solving involving proportion, okay? So on this screen, there is your remember task, so please pause the video and play when you're ready to go through the solutions. Just waiting for my visualizer to load so I can go through the solutions with you. I'll put the answers on the screen as well so that you can just mark your answers, but I will go through the solutions and how to get there with you. Okay, finally got there, which is good. Let's have a look. So, number one, you had to do 20 pounds divided by 8. You needed to work out, so for 1A, 20 pounds divided by 8. Okay, so you then use your method. So over to the side, you can do your workings. 20 is what's being divided, so it goes under the bus stop and you're dividing it by 8. Okay, 8 doesn't go into 2, but 8 does go into 20 and it goes into 20 twice. Put your decimal, it goes into twice with 4 remaining, so 4 goes after the decimal point and that becomes 40 because we're exchanging 4 ones into 40 tenths. Then you say how many 8s go into 40? Well, it's 5. Okay, so your answer is 2.5. But remember, it was £20 that we were dividing, and we don't say you've got £2.5, we say you've got £2.50. So your answer is £2.50 there. B, you're doing £36 divided by 5. Again, use your bus stop because it's not going to divide it exactly. 35 is what you're dividing, so it goes under the bus stop. 36, sorry, is what you're dividing. So it goes under the bus stop and 5 goes on the outside. 5 doesn't go into 3, but 5 does go into 36 7 times. So you write your 7 above and that gets you to 35, so it has 1 remaining. So you do a decimal and you have 1 remaining. That's 1 remaining. So when we put it after the decimal, it becomes 10 tenths. Okay, that becomes 10, not 1. And then 5 goes into 10 twice. So your answer is 7.2, but as with before, it's money. We don't say you've got £7, 7.2 pounds or £7.2, unless it's 2 pence. So we have to write £7.20 in our answer. Okay, part C. We're doing £2.45, and we are multiplying that by 3. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to use my column method, 2.45, and I'm multiplying by 3. Okay, line up your decimal. 3 times 5 is 15, so 5 carry 1. 3 times 4 is 12, add 1 is 13, so 3 carry 1 again. 2 times 3 is 6, add 1 is 7. So your answer there is £7.35. And then D, we've got £17.70 as your answer, but we've got £5.90 multiplied by 3. So again, I'm going to do my workings over here. 5.90 multiplied by 3. Your line underneath, line up your decimals. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 9 is 27, so 7 carry 2. 5 times 3 is 15, add 2 is 17. So £17.70 is your answer. Okay, so that's D. That looks a bit like an A there, so that's a D. Then we needed to work out how many hours and minutes are in 315 minutes. Okay, so how many minutes and hours are in 315 minutes? Now you could have done this in different ways, but you needed to know that 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. Okay, you could have used division, but what some people find easier is to just add your minutes together. So 60 minutes, you know that's 1 hour. Add another 60, that gets you to 120, so that's 2 hours. Add another 60, that gets you to 180, so that's 3 hours. Add another 60, that gets you to 240, so that's 4 hours. And we're going to 315, remember? 315 minutes, that gets us to 4 hours. Add another 60, that gets us to 300, so that's 5 hours. If we were to add another 60 again, we'd get to 360, so that goes too far. Okay, so 6 hours is too many. So we know that it's going to be 5 hours and then however many minutes are remaining. Okay, so we're doing 315 minutes. And that's equal to, well, 300 is 5 hours. And then you have 15 minutes remaining. Okay, what's good about this method is that working is there still for the next question now, okay? So that's part A. Part B, we needed to say 200 minutes and what 200 minutes is as hours and minutes. So the nearest one is here, it's 3 hours, because the next one, 4 hours, goes over 200 minutes. So it's 3 hours. And then there's 20 minutes remaining from 180 minutes to 200. So it's 3 hours and 20 minutes. Okay. The next one's a little bit different. So you see, we've got 2 3/4 hours. And we need to write that as hours and minutes. Well, we know that it's 2 hours already, so that won't change. It's 2 hours. Then we have to say, well, what is 3/4 of an hour in minutes? Hopefully you know that that's 45 minutes. But if not, you would have to find 3/4 of 60 minutes. Okay? And that would get you to your 45 minutes. Okay, if you weren't sure how I did that, 60 divided by 4 gets you 15, times by 3 gets you to 45. So it's 2 hours and 45 minutes. Now the next one's a little harder. We won't be able to just transfer it straight away because we're gonna have to use this method. So D is 4 1/3 hours, and we want that in hours and minutes. We know it's 4 hours, but then we need to work out what a third of an hour is. So a third of 60 minutes is what we're working out because we want to know what it is in minutes. So you divide by your bottom number, divide by your denominator. So 60 divided by 3 is 20, and you times by your numerator, your top number. So 20 times by 1 is 20. So it's 20 minutes. Okay, so that's 4 hours and 20 minutes. Okay, and that's the end of your remember task. Well done if you got those correctly. If not, please make sure you do have a go back over my solutions until you understand fully what you had to do there and what was required. Okay, moving on. So I'm just going to put this on full screen quickly so that you can see, but then I'm going to have to put it back to the split screen so that I can explain the solution or the example. Okay, so the key point says when two values are in inverse proportion, one increases at the same rate as the other decreases. For example, as one doubles, the other halves. Okay, I'm going to read that again. So when two values are in inverse proportion, one increases at the same rate, the other decreases. For example, as one doubles, so times by 2, the other halves, so it divides by 2. Or if one is multiplied by 3, the other one would be divided by 3, and so on. Okay? The example says it takes 2 painters 7 days to paint a house. So 2 painters, 7 days. How many days does it take 1 painter to paint an identical house? Well, you've got to think it's going to take 1 person twice as long as it would take 2 people, because there's half of the people doing the job. Okay, so it's going to take 1 person double the amount of time. So instead of taking 7 days, it's going to take 14 days. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. I'll try and explain it a little bit, but there's not really much I can explain anyway on the visualizer. The concept you've got to try and get your head around. So you have 2 painters. If you imagine this is the house. Okay, it's going to take 2 painters 7 days. So if you imagine you've got 2 painters in those 7 days, painter 1 is going to paint that side, painter 2 is going to paint this side. Okay, and that takes painter 1 7 days to paint this side, and painter 2 7 days to paint that side. But because they're doing it together, the whole thing is finished in 7 days. Okay, they're doing it together, so the workload is halved. But how long is it going to take 1 painter? Well, it's the same house, but he's doing it alone. So if we split it into the same 2 halves, so it took 7 days to paint this half, and it took 7 days to paint this half. So for 1 painter, it will take a total of 14 days because he doesn't have anyone helping him. So 14 days. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay, so you have a question now to try. There's 2 hints on there to help you, but please pause the video and play when you're ready to go through the solution. Okay, so I'm going to put the answers on the screen, and then I'm going to go through the solutions with you and talk you through the reasoning for that. Okay, so question 3 says, 3 people dig a ditch in 7 hours. How long will it take 1 person? Okay, your hint for question 3A was, will it take 1 man more or less than 3 men? Okay, so it's exactly like the example I've just given you. Okay, so you've got this ditch, and it takes 3 people 7 hours. Okay, so if we split the work evenly, assuming that they do an even amount, this is person 1, that's how much he'll dig. This is person 2, and this is person 3. Okay, and it's taken each of them 7 hours to just dig their part. Okay, I've got 1 person now that's going to do this on their own. So same size ditch, same amount to dig. So as he's alone, it's going to take each of the sections, I'm just dividing it like that so you can imagine what each of the person's doing, they're still going to take 7 hours each. Assuming they dig at the same rate, it's going to take him 7 hours to dig each of the same parts. So in total, it's going to take him 21 hours. Okay, you don't need to draw these things. This is just so that it gives you an idea of a way to visually represent what they're doing there. Okay, but it will take him 3 times as long as it would take 3 people. Okay, and then it says, how long will it take 5 people? So we've got the same ditch, but this time we've got 5 people that are able to dig it. Okay, so we want to know how long it's going to take 5 people. Okay, you've been given a hint that 60 minutes is 1 hour. Hopefully you knew that. So 60 minutes is 1 hour, and we've got 5 people. So how long is it going to take 5 people? So for one person, the ditch takes 21 hours of work, okay? So for anyone, no matter how many people in total, the labour hours is 21, okay? But we're sharing this between 5 people now. So it's 21 hours shared between 5 people. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do 21 divided by 5 to work out how long it's going to take in total for each person and therefore overall to do that job. So 5 doesn't go into 2, but 5 does go into 24 times. For your point, with 1 remaining. Remember, that's 1 remaining, so that's 10 tenths. 5 goes into 10 twice. So we've got 4.2 hours, that is. So that's 4.2 hours. We know that means that's 4 hours. But what's 0.2 of an hour? We need to know what is 0.2 multiplied by 60. What's 0.2 of an hour? Okay? If it makes it easier for you, 0.2 is the same as 2 tenths. It's much easier to work with the fractions. Okay, so 2 tenths of 60. As before, and you remember task, you divide by your bottom number, your denominator. 60 divided by 10 is 6. Multiply by your numerator, your top number. 6 times by 2 is 12. So that means 0.2 of an hour is 12 minutes. So that means it's going to take 5 people 4 hours and 12 minutes to do that, okay? So I just had to divide the total amount of time that it takes to dig that ditch, so what it would take one person, by the number of people that would help, and that would tell me how long it would take for the job overall. Okay? So let's carry on. So now you've got another example of some questions. I'm going to quickly read through the questions. Then you can pause the video, have a go, and play when you're ready to go through the solution, okay? So question 4. 2 workers take 5 hours to tile a room. How long will it take 4 workers? And how long will it take 3 workers? Give your answers in hours and minutes, okay? If you struggle with how to start that, it's probably a good idea to find out how long it would take one person, and then you can follow the example that we did before of working out therefore how long it would take 4 people and how long it would take 3 people. Okay? You can get to part A in a different way, but if you find out what it is for one person, that helps you with part B as well. Okay? Question 5 says 4 concert tickets cost £50. How much will 9 concert tickets cost? And your hint is, do you expect them to cost more or less? I'm not going to help you any more with that one, because hopefully you're going to be able to do that without any extra help. Okay? So pause the video please and play when you're ready to go through the solutions. Okay, so the answers are on the screen for you, and I'm now going to go through them with you when my visualizer decides to respond. There we go. Okay. So question 4 says 2 workers take 5 hours to tile a room. Okay, so 2 workers, 5 hours to tile a room. Okay, if it helps you, again, I'm going to do the visual representation. Okay, this is my room. Takes 2 workers 5 hours. If they half that, worker 1 will take 5 hours here. Worker 2 will take 5 hours here. Therefore, in total, for one person, it would take 10 hours. Okay? 10 hours. Part A asks you how long will it take 4 workers? Well, as I said when I was giving you the hints, you don't have to use that information yet to be able to work out part A. Okay, you've got double the amount of workers, so you'd expect it to take half the amount of time. Okay, remember, it's inversely proportional, so as one increases, the other will decrease by the same amount. Okay, so the workers has doubled, and therefore the time will half. So it will take 4 workers half of 5 hours. Okay, so half of 5 hours, which is 2 hours 30 minutes, 2.5 hours, 2 hours 30 minutes. Okay, you may have followed it doing the way that we've done previously, which will help you for part 3 as well. So you would have done it instead 10 hours, which is the total amount of time that it takes for one person, total amount of time the job takes, divided by 4. Okay, because there's 4 people doing 10 hours worth of work. Okay, so 10 divided by 4, well, 2 4s go into 10, put your decimal, because there's going to be 2 remaining. Okay, that becomes 20. 4 goes into 20 5 times. So it's saying it's going to take 2.5 hours, which is 2 hours 30 minutes. Okay, so for part B now, you need to know what it is for 3 people. As I did this part at the start, I know the total job is 10 hours. And so I need to do my 10 this time, divided by 3, because it's 3 people that are doing the job. 3 goes into 10 3 times. Put your decimal. It's going to have 1 remaining. Okay, that becomes 10. And that's going to be 3 again. And it's going to carry on. It's going to be 3.3 recurring. Okay, and this is where your conversions become really important. I know that 0.3 recurring is a third. So actually, I'm saying that it's going to take 3 1/3 hours. Okay, that was the tricky part of this question. It's going to take 3 1/3 hours. Okay, I want to know what is a third of an hour. I know we worked it out in the remember task, but I'm going to do that anyway. So a third of 60 minutes, 60 divided by 3 is 20, times by 1 is 20. So that's 20 minutes. Okay, so that means my answer is it's going to take 3 hours and 20 minutes for 3 people. Okay, question 5. So 4 concert tickets cost £50. How much will 9 concert tickets cost? Okay, do you expect them to be more or less? Okay, they're going to be more, aren't they? This isn't an inverse proportion example. Each concert ticket, you're going to need to find out the cost of 1 concert ticket and multiply that by 9 to find out the cost of 9 concert tickets. Okay, so 4 costs £50, so I need to do 50 divided by 4 to find out the cost of 1 ticket. 4 goes into 5 once, with 1 remaining. 4 goes into 10 twice, with 2 remaining. That becomes 20 because now we're changing 2 ones into 20 tenths, and 4 goes into 20 5 times. Okay, so 1 ticket costs £12.50. I want to know the cost of 9 tickets, so I need to do my £12.50 multiplied by 9. Okay, line up your decimal. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 5 is 45. So you put 5 and carry 4. 9 times 2 is 18. Plus 4 is 22. The 2 carry 2. 9 times 1 is 9. Add 2 is 11. So it's £112.50. So 9 tickets is £112.50. And that's your final answer there. Okay? So you need to find the cost of one ticket and multiply that by the 9 people. Okay. Some more questions then to try, please. Again, I'm going to read through the questions with you and then pause when you're ready to go through the solutions. Ready to have a go, and then play when you're ready to go through the solutions, rather, okay? So, question 6. A forestry supervisor needs to transplant 420 tree seedlings. He wants all the work done in 7 hours or less. He knows that one person can transplant 8 seedlings in an hour. How many people does he need for this job? Excuse me. Okay, so question 6, strategy hint. How many could one person transplant in 7 hours? Okay, so he wants it done in 7 hours. How many could one person transplant in that time? Okay, that will help you reach to the solution. Question 7. A band with 4 people can play a song in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. How long will it take a band with 8 people to play the same song? Okay, so a band with 4 people can play a song in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. How long will it take a band with 8 people to play the same song? Okay, so pause the video please and play when you're ready for the solution. Okay, just bear with my laptop. Ready to respond, there we go. And I'm going to put the answers up there for you. Okay, as you can see, question 7 was a bit of a trick. So, question 6. A forestry supervisor needs to transplant 420 tree seedlings. Okay, that's important information. He wants 420 seedlings. Okay, he wants all of the work done in 7 hours or less. Okay, so 7 hours or less. He knows that one person can transplant 8 seedlings in an hour. So one person equals 8 seedlings per hour. How many people does he need for this job? Okay. The hint says to you, how many could one person transplant in 7 hours? So I need to know how many can he do in 7 hours. Okay, he does 8 per hour. All right. So he does 8 seedlings per hour. So one person is going to take 7 hours to transplant, and then we're going to do 7 lots of 8 seedlings because he does 8 an hour. Okay, so you need to do 7 multiplied by 8. That gets you to 56 seedlings in 7 hours of work. Okay, but he needs 420 seedlings. So what we need to do is 420, which is the total amount that he wants done, divided by the amount of seedlings one person can do in the 7 hours. Okay? And by doing that, we will then find out how many people he will need to get his target of 420 seedlings. Okay? So 420 divided by 56 is quite a hard calculation to do, even using bus stop method. So a method that you might find easier is to just keep adding them together, okay, at the side. So 56 plus 56 is 112, plus 56 is 168, plus 56 is 224, plus 56 is 280. Remember, we're going for 420 as our target. Plus 56 is 336. Plus 56 is 392, plus 56 is 448. Okay, so we've gone past our target of 420. Okay, so 56 goes into 420. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times to 392. Okay, so it goes in 7 times. That's to the whole of the 420. We're then going to put our decimal. Okay, and then we're going to say with how many remaining? Well, 420 subtract 392 gives me 28 remaining. Okay, remember that's 28 ones, so 280 tenths. It needs to become 280 when you carry it on there. And then we're going to say how many times does 56 go into 280? Well, let's have a look. 5 times. It goes in exactly, and it's 5 times. That's why this can be helpful when you've got bigger numbers. Okay, so 5 times. So my answer there is 7.5. So in order to plant 420 seedlings, he needs 7.5 people. Okay, but you can't have 7.5 people. 7.5 people you can't have. So therefore, remember the 3 dots mean therefore, he needs 8 people. Okay? Was a little tricky, but hopefully the hint helped you. And then question 7, this was a trick question really, it just required you to think. A band with 4 people can play a song in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. How long will it take a band with 8 people to play the same song? Well, the song length isn't going to change. They've just got more people, so it's still going to take 4 minutes and 30 seconds, okay? It won't change. Okay, if we were all going to sing Happy Birthday together versus me singing it alone, it's going to take the same amount of time. It doesn't matter that we're all doing it together. Okay?